How's it going, YouTube? It's KB Baby here, and today we're going to be talking about somebody who never gets into any drama, that of course being MrBeast and his friend Chris Tyson, and I suppose we're also talking about SunnyV2 and his awful video about MrBeast's friend Chris, who decided to transition. Now, this has been a situation that's been bubbling for quite a bit now, and I initially didn't decide to cover it because I didn't really feel like it was my place. I've talked about issues like this in the past, and I oftentimes give controversial opinions that make both sides upset because, you know, Lord knows I love making things harder for myself, but in reality it's because oftentimes with scenarios like these, it's very rarely that it's like one or the other is, you know, definitively the right answer. Sometimes, like, I hate this, cliche, oh, both sides are wrong or both sides have good points, but in scenarios like this, I do genuinely feel like that is the case, and I'm gonna give you some controversial opinions, and so I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think. Tell me that I am wrong about everything I'm gonna say in this video, even if you've never watched like a single second of it. Alright, so yeah, on a real note though, I think we should just get into the controversy, and I want to start off by just going to the beginning of this video that SunnyV2 posted, because this is really the catalyst for why I'm making this video, okay? I'm just gonna do the first like 15 or 20 seconds of it because it's kind of a splash of cold water on your face because this is weird.
The Chris Tyson situation could become a complete disaster for MrBeast's brand. However, it may also provide some unique benefits. So let's begin by going over the drama before explaining exactly how this will impact the MrBeast channel.
So, by the way, the first 6.5 minutes, like 3/4 of this is dedicated to like recapping events, right? Not like actually explaining how it'll impact the channel. That's reserved for like the last 2.5 minutes, right? I don't even know what I did there, but yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah, Chris decided to transition. Let's talk about the branding of such a decision. Like that's so weird, isn't it? And of course, this is obviously what's got people up in arms, right? And I wanted to, you know, myself throw my a hat in the ring and tell you my opinion on it, just so we're clear, just for transparency's sake, right? And that's, in my opinion on the matter, is that while it is ultimately Chris's decision, you know, to transition and seek help for if he does have gender dysphoria, right? There is some concerning elements, of course, you know, the fact that he recently divorced, that could be an indicator that maybe, you know, there's some like I want to say interference, but no, it's more like static or like white noise into like a diagnosis as to, and this is gonna sound mean and awful, but like if he has a mental illness or not, right? So when you have such a controversial event in someone's life, and mind you, I am not qualified to talk about just medical anything or divorce at all because I have never been married, right? But that can obviously produce a lot of white noise, and that might cloud a person's judgment, and that might lead to something that's a false diagnosis that, you know, could have some very serious ramifications. Now, I'm not Chris, so I have no idea if that's true or not, obviously, right? How else would I know unless I was Chris, or maybe if I was a close family member of Chris, or if I was his doctor. I'm none of those things, right? So that's just, I'm putting that right out in the open, right up front, right? And, but so, like, moving on from that, just now that that's fully on the table, I think we need to talk about just why this is in particular is so weird, right? So, recapping a situation, like, this is a situation where you want to, you know, be explaining for most of the video why you think what you think, right? Instead, he recaps for, like, the first, like, 3/4 of the video, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, the last 4th or 5th of the video, you know, some people think this is controversial. It's like, yeah, cool, dude, right? So, this is what, this started to blow up on Twitter about last night. Bo Black, shout out to the homie, my fellow autist on the internet. And he's basically, you know, reiterating what I said, you know, my friend's Chris's MrBeast's friend decided to transition. How will this impact his YouTube channel? And then he says, is he saying that Chris shouldn't have transitioned because it's going to cause drama for Jimmy? This is the end of the video by Nicholas Dioria. Shout out to Nicholas Dioria. Without him, nobody in the commentary community would do research. And by research, I mean stealing his tweets. So, I guess here's the last 20 seconds of his video.
The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself, and even then rumors and bad press will be unavoidable. Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact Jimmy, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
So, that's an interesting conclusion. Like, apparently, like, you know, MrBeast staying friends with Chris is just not an option, I guess, right? But no, he's talking about if he wants to avoid the drama or whatever, which, by the way, like, MrBeast is no stranger to drama. This, as my fellow commentator Augie RC will say, will not impact MrBeast's career whatsoever. I'm surprised SunnyV2 doesn't know this, given his whole channel is explaining the rise and fall of people. But social media just does not care about anything that you think they do, right? And I would agree. Here's just the one, speaking of his content, here's just another relevant clip that Nick shared, talking about Ninja discussing George Floyd while and being like, you can't talk about George Floyd, Ninja, because you play Fortnite. Very compelling argument, SunnyV2. I gotta say, I can't imagine why people would think that's cringe, but moving on, like, I just want to get through the tweets and kind of wrap it up in a conclusion, right? So, Jay Aubrey, another tweet that really blew up, got like 40k likes. This is one of the most dog shit videos I've ever seen. Sunny's conclusion practically blames Chris for not taking MrBeast's brand into account before transitioning. Lamau. Imagine having such little regard for the welfare of a human being. And to be fair, right, this is absolutely true, but, you know, some people saying have voiced concerns about Chris transitioning for the sake of his welfare. Like I said, you know, I'm not a doctor, but if somebody, you know, recently divorced, and as in recently, I mean like a year ago, but it's like, it's finally finalized and stuff like that, and, you know, you had the attention of like an influencer, you know, you gotta be thinking about all these conditions that can impact somebody's mental health, right? And that can lead to, like, you know, false diagnosis, as I said, right? And so, of course, if that was the point of this video, you know, that would be something completely different. But the point of the video just seems to be like, oh, Chris transitioned. Oh, woe is MrBeast's career. Like, it's the complete, like, wrong thing to be talking about in a situation like this. And of course, let's look at MrBeast's response. This is another tweet that blew up. SunnyV2's video feels really invasive for all the wrong reasons. Like, why did you make this? You delved into the man's marriage and shit. It's just really off-putting and unnecessary. And I do agree that the video is unnecessary. Especially considering how so much of it is recap instead of actually, like, discussing the points. And then MrBeast responds and says, yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare. He's my fucking friend, and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. Now, I'm going to say one thing, that, like, just put it up front. I don't think SunnyV2 is transphobic, per se. I think he needed a video for this week. And this was the video that he cobbled together hastily, and it came out awful, okay? That's all I think. I don't think he hates trans people in his heart of hearts. I don't even think he intended to, like, placate transphobes, or, like, you know, play devil's advocate for them. I'm sure he showed people that could have made some comments that you could label as transphobic, but I don't think he was saying that, oh, these people are absolutely right. He was mainly showing them as, this is the controversy that from people that are fans of MrBeast are voicing their opinions as, right? And there's a massive difference between that and being transphobic, right? So I gotta say, MrBeast, I don't think SunnyV2 is transphobic in the slightest, right? Well, he could be, but I don't think this is evidence of that, right? Though there are absolutely people that are transphobic that are dunking on Chris, and I gotta say, from what I've seen, you know, if you're saying, oh, Chris, I don't know if he's trans, you know, I don't think that's transphobic. I was kind of saying, you know, again, there's some controversial stuff in his life at the moment that could be a problem in getting a diagnosis for if you think you have problems, right? And I hate to reiterate that point again, over and over again, but that is a real issue that you can have, right? Like, you're more vulnerable when bad things happen to you. I know, shocking, right? I hate that I constantly kind of have to defend myself when saying that and backpedal and be like, oh, these things happen. Yeah, they obviously do, right? And I shouldn't be too scared to say that, but, we do live in 2023, and people are really quick on the trigger to, like, call you whatever istophobe, right? And to be fair, some people absolutely are in regards to the situation, but I don't think SunnyV2 is. I think he needed a video, and it was dog shit, right? And I think the best thing to do is to clown on him and move on. And with that being said, I think I've covered all I wanted to about this situation. I don't really have much else to say. I've been KB Baby. Again, if you liked the video, please leave a like, comment. Tell me what you think. Am I completely wrong? Am I an idiot? Am I right? Am I based? Let me know down in the comments below. If you're new and you enjoyed the content, please subscribe. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That would be awesome. And yeah, I've been KB Baby. God bless your soul. Stay rad. Don't be bad. And yeah, I'm signing off. Peace.